I never thought the people I loved most would leave me behind like I was nothing. I spent $20,000 on a dream family vacation to Hawaii, hoping it would bring us closer. But at the airport, my own son looked me in the eye and said, "I forgot to buy you a ticket. Go home." I walked away quietly, not knowing the next day I would wake up to 56 missed calls, all begging for my help. Before we continue, please comment where you are watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting revenge stories. I stood at the airport entrance with my suitcase rolling behind me, my heart beating fast with excitement. For months, I had dreamed of this moment, my whole family traveling together to Hawaii for the first time. I saved for years, sometimes skipping things I wanted, just so I could give them this one big gift. I held the folder with all the receipts, the resort booking, the island tours, the helicopter ride, the luau dinner, everything. I even bought matching shirts for all of us. Mine said, "Grandpa's Adventure." Leo's said, "Grandpa's Co-Pilot." I smiled just thinking about how happy he would be. But the moment I stepped inside the terminal, something felt strange. Aaron stood near the check-in counter with his arms crossed, not smiling. Brielle was beside him, looking everywhere except at me. Leo waved happily, but she quickly lowered his hand like she didn't want him drawing attention. "Aaron," I said softly, adjusting my glasses, "why are you standing here? Shouldn't we be checking in?" He looked at me in a way I had never seen before, cold, annoyed, almost embarrassed. "Dad," he said, "I need to tell you something." I waited. I thought maybe he forgot the time, or maybe they had a problem with their luggage. But then he said the words that made my chest tighten. "I forgot to buy you a ticket." I blinked, thinking he must be joking. "What, Aaron?" "The ticket was part of the package I paid for. I bought all four." "No," he cut in, raising his voice as if I was causing trouble. "You didn't. Or maybe you thought you did. I don't know. But there's no ticket for you. So just go home. We'll talk later." Brielle stepped back like she didn't want to be part of the conversation. She kept her eyes on her phone, pretending she didn't hear a thing. Leo pulled his little backpack forward and whispered, "Grandpa, are you coming with us?" Before I could answer, Brielle placed her hand on his shoulder and nudged him behind her. Tears stung my eyes, but I fought them back. "Aaron," I said quietly, "I checked everything. The resort booking shows 4 guests. The flight code shows 4 seats. I printed them. Here, look." I held out the papers. He didn't even glance at them. "Dad, stop. Don't make this harder. We're already boarding soon. You're not coming." My throat tightened. People around us slowed down, listening. A few airport workers looked away awkwardly. I could hear the beeping of carts, the rolling of suitcases, the loudspeaker calling flights, but everything felt distant. "After everything," I whispered, "why would you do this?" Aaron shrugged like I had asked him about the weather. "It's done. Just go home." He turned his back and walked toward the gate. Brielle followed, grabbing Leo's hand before he could reach for me again. I stood there with the suitcase I packed so carefully, the shirts I ironed, the tickets I thought were real, and the money I worked years to save. No one stopped. No one asked if I was okay. I simply stood alone, watching my family walk away as if I was nothing. 3 days before the airport disaster, everything still looked normal, at least to me. I woke up early, brewed my usual cup of tea, and opened the small notebook where I wrote all my plans for the Hawaii trip. For months, I had circled dates, checked prices, and compared reviews. I wanted everything perfect, not for me, but for them. I even wrote a note at the top of the page: "Make memories together." That morning, I drove to the store to buy sunscreen, snacks for Leo, and a few fun items for the beach. I found a bright yellow snorkel set that I knew Leo would love. I added it to the cart with a smile. I imagined him running toward the waves, laughing, shouting my name. While walking through the aisles, I called Aaron to ask what snacks Brielle preferred. He answered after the third ring. "Yeah," he said, sounding busy. "Aaron, I'm shopping for the trip. Do you think Brielle would like the mango chips or the—" He sighed loudly. "Dad, I don't know. She's busy right now. Just pick something." There was something sharp in his tone, something cold, but I ignored it. Maybe he was stressed. Planning trips can do that, I told myself. Later that day, I went to their house to drop off some of the items. When I walked in, I heard Brielle laughing in the living room. But the moment she saw me, her smile faded fast. "Oh, hi," she said, tightening her robe. "We didn't know you were coming." "I just brought some things for the trip," I said cheerfully. "I found a snorkel set for Leo." Brielle tilted her head. "Oh, that's cute." Her voice said, "Cute." Her eyes said, "Why are you here?" Leo rushed out from behind the couch and hugged my leg. "Grandpa, are we really going to Hawaii? Will you teach me how to swim in the big waves?" His excitement warmed my heart, but Brielle's eyes narrowed just a little. "We'll see," she said, pulling him away gently. "Don't overwhelm Grandpa." I laughed softly. "He's not overwhelming me. I can't wait." She nodded politely, but her jaw tightened as if my happiness bothered her. That night, I created a special envelope with spending money for each of them. I wrote their names neatly: Aaron, Brielle, Leo. I placed the envelopes inside my suitcase and zipped it up carefully. But I didn't see what I wasn't supposed to see. As I walked toward my car outside their house, I paused for a moment because I thought I heard my name through the living room window. I didn't mean to overhear. I only stopped because Leo had left his toy truck on the driveway. When I bent down to pick it up, I heard Brielle's voice inside, sharp, annoyed. "I don't want him slowing us down," she said. "This is supposed to be our trip." Aaron's voice followed, lower, tired. "He'll be fine. He won't complain." Brielle scoffed. "Of course he won't complain. That's the problem. He never says anything. Just stands there smiling, like he's part of everything." I froze. My heart sank. I knew I shouldn't stay, so I quietly placed Leo's toy on the steps and walked away. I told myself I misheard. I told myself she didn't mean it. I told myself families sometimes say things when stressed. That night, I packed my suitcase anyway, still hopeful, still excited, still trusting. 2 days before the trip, I still believed everything was fine. I kept telling myself families get stressed before traveling. Maybe they were tired. Maybe they were distracted. Maybe I was overthinking. But while I stayed hopeful, something very different was happening inside their home, something I didn't know about. That morning, Aaron and Brielle sat at their dining table, whispering. Their suitcases were open beside them, clothes neatly folded, sunscreen bottles lined up, sunglasses on the table. It looked like a joyful scene, but the mood was nothing like joy. Brielle tapped her nails on the table. "So it's settled," she said. "He's not coming." Aaron rubbed his forehead. "I don't know, Brielle. It feels wrong. He paid for everything." She leaned forward. "Because he wanted to. Aaron, he always wants to insert himself. This trip is for us, for our small family, not for him." Their small family. That's how she always said it, like I didn't belong. Aaron stayed quiet, staring at the floor. He wasn't a bad person, but he was weak whenever Brielle pushed. She had a way of making her wishes sound like rules. "We'll just tell him the airline messed up," she continued. "Or he booked something wrong. He won't argue. He never argues." Aaron finally sighed. I guess. Brielle leaned back in her chair and smiled. Good. We deserve a peaceful vacation. No slow walking. No old stories. No extra problems. Meanwhile, I was across town folding my shirts, smoothing the wrinkles with my hands, smiling at each outfit I prepared for the trip. I laid out a white linen shirt, the one Leo said made me look like a cool explorer. I even picked a special hat to protect him when we walked on the hot sand. As I packed, I hummed a little tune I used to sing when Aaron was a boy. I didn't know that my kindness had become something they saw as a burden. Later that afternoon, Brielle texted Aaron again while he was at work. Brielle, just remember, don't let him pay for any extras. We don't need him to tag along with us in Hawaii. Aaron, he won't. He trusts us. Brielle, exactly. And trust makes things easier. Back at home, I spent my evening creating a small surprise for them. A memory book. A blank photo album with space for pictures from the trip. I imagined each page filled with smiles, sunsets, beach poses, and family laughter. I even left a note inside. Let's make this the best week of our lives. But while I was writing those words, Aaron and Brielle were discussing how to keep me away from every plan. The next morning, I went to their house again to drop off the memory book. I knocked, but no one answered. Inside, I heard voices, their voices. I didn't listen long, just long enough to hear Brielle say one small sentence that made my stomach twist. He'll slow us down. I don't want that. I walked back to my car slowly, holding the album pressed against my chest. Even then, I still believed they would let me come. Even then, I didn't see the truth. When I reached home after the airport humiliation, I didn't cry. I thought I would, but instead, I felt nothing. It was as if my heart had gone empty. I placed my suitcase by the door and sat at the kitchen table, staring at the wall. The house was too quiet, too still. I took off my jacket and placed it over the chair. Then I carefully removed the matching shirts I bought for the trip and set them on the table. I touched the small shirt with Grandpa's co-pilot written across it. My fingers trembled, but still, no tears came. I boiled water for tea, but I didn't drink it. It stayed on the table, untouched, growing cold. Hours passed. The sun went down. I left the lights off. I didn't want to see the room clearly. The dimness felt easier. At around 8 p.m., my phone buzzed once, just a message from my bank, confirming a charge from the resort in Hawaii. A charge I paid for. A vacation I wasn't part of. Across the ocean, Aaron and Brielle stepped onto the warm Hawaiian ground with their luggage. Leo ran ahead, amazed by the palm trees and ocean breeze. Brielle filmed him on her phone, laughing brightly, acting like everything was perfect. But the mood did not stay perfect. At the check-in desk, something strange happened. The receptionist frowned at the computer screen. There seems to be a problem with your booking, she said. Brielle rolled her eyes. How? Everything is under my father-in-law's name. The receptionist looked again. Yes, but the system shows a cancellation request. Aaron blinked. Cancellation? We didn't cancel anything. Brielle stepped forward. We have a printed confirmation. Yes, the receptionist said. I see that, but the room was cancelled this morning. A small silence hung in the air. And, the receptionist added, your card on file was declined for the updated security hold. Brielle's smile fell completely. No, that's wrong. Run it again. The receptionist tried. Declined. Again. Declined. Leo tugged Aaron's sleeve. Daddy, are we not staying here? Aaron forced a smile. We are, buddy. Don't worry. But worry was already creeping up his face. Back at home, I was unaware of their trouble. I sat on the couch, holding the memory book I made for them. I opened the first empty page and stared at it. It was supposed to hold our first family photo in Hawaii. Now it was blank, just like the rest of the book. Just like the space between me and them. I closed it slowly. Then something strange happened. At around midnight, I heard a noise outside. A small thump, then another. I walked to the window and lifted the curtain. The street was empty. No cars, no people. Just the wind and a loose piece of metal tapping against the neighbor's fence. I stepped away, thinking I imagined it. But later, at nearly 2 a.m., my phone lit up once more. Not a call, not a text, but a notification from the security camera on my front porch. Motion detected. I frowned and opened the live view. There was nothing, only darkness. But the strange feeling stayed with me as I finally went to bed quietly, slowly, while my family faced problems thousands of miles away. I woke up later than usual the next morning. My head felt heavy, and my body was tired from the strange, empty night. The sunlight through the curtains made the room warm, but I didn't feel any warmth inside me. I reached for my phone, expecting nothing more than a few messages from companies or news apps. But when I turned it on, my hand froze. 56 missed calls. My heart thumped once hard. Most of the calls were from Aaron, some from Brielle, a few from numbers I didn't recognize, and several from the resort in Hawaii. For a moment, I thought my phone was glitching. Why would they call me this many times? After leaving me at the airport? After telling me to just go home? I opened the call history. The first missed call came at 3:11 a.m. Then 3:13 a.m. Then 3:15 a.m. Then again, and again, and again. What could make them call non-stop in the middle of the night? Before calling back, I sat down at the edge of the bed and took a deep breath. My hands were shaking, not from fear, but from confusion, from shock, from something I couldn't name yet. Then I listened to the first voicemail. Aaron's voice came through, shaky and scared. "Dad, Dad, please pick up. Something happened. We need you." I played the next. It was Brielle this time, her voice nothing like the confident, cold tone she used at the airport. "Please answer. It's serious. Please, we don't know what to do." Another message followed, this time from an unknown number. "Hello, this is the front desk at the Ocean Shell Resort. We need to confirm something regarding your booking and your family's situation. Please return our call." My breathing grew uneven. Then I heard one more voicemail, this one from Leo. His tiny voice cracked. "Grandpa, Mummy, and Daddy are crying. Please come." I closed my eyes for a moment, letting the words sink into my chest. The same people who pushed me away, the same people who walked off without looking back, were now desperately calling for my help. Why? I placed the phone on my lap and thought about everything: the airport, the cold faces, the quiet house, the strange motion alert at night, the sudden problems at their resort. Something had gone terribly wrong. Not small trouble, not a simple mix-up. Something big. Something serious enough to break Brielle's pride and shake Aaron's confidence and make little Leo cry. I finally stood up, walked to the kitchen, and poured a glass of water. My hand still trembled slightly as I lifted it to my lips. Then I wiped my face, straightened my shirt, and picked up my phone again. For the first time since they abandoned me at the airport, I dialed a number. I was ready to hear exactly what happened in Hawaii. And that was the moment everything changed. The people who left me behind, who planned to push me away, suddenly realized they couldn't handle life without me. I never expected this turn of events, and it taught me a lesson about trust, family, and self-respect. Life can be unpredictable, and sometimes those we think we know best reveal their true colors. Thank you so much for watching this story. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting revenge stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat.